Oh, bagel, that's the worst tasting donut I've ever had. Some state you work, you don't want to be there. I was in Alabama last year for the Jewish holiday, Rosh Hashanah. I'm part Jewish. I asked a guy, I said, hey, do you have Rosh Hashanah here? He said, no, sir, we have Nickelodeon and ESPN. That's okay, I like that joke. I do it every show because I know half of you will laugh. The rest of you are looking at me like a Jew boy from the South. I have a yarmulke with a John Deere patch on it. You flip it over, it's a do-rag. I'm not making it up, that's actually true. I'm part Jewish, I'm part Indian, and I was raised Catholic. I just stood at the altar with a full headdress going, how much are these wafers? Just give me a half of one and call me Ronimo. Y'all get the phlegm part, don't you? Which is fine, because that's all Jewish people are famous for. Phlegm, money, and bagels. You know what a bagel is, right? Guy sat in Texas, somebody in the back goes, that's a hunting dog. Bagel, not beagle. Oh, bagel, that's the worst tasting donut I've ever had. I was like, how fast are you going? Your head hit the pavement. A lot of people don't know this about Texas. There's a state law. When you get to the state line, you have to change heads. Did you know that, sweetheart? Got to take off your smart head and put on a stupid head. And of course, people from Oklahoma, they can drive right in. They're dumb as a bowl of dirt in Oklahoma. I was in Ardmore, Oklahoma. I saw a bumper sticker that said, if you can read this, you're not from here. I found this out while I was in Oklahoma. Did you know if you go through a drive-through fast food restaurant without a car, they'll get mad? This is a true story, y'all. Whenever I work a club-owned land, it's the club owner responsibility for my accommodations, and this club owner has put me up at a hotel that's right across the parking lot. Y'all notice I didn't say street, right? It's right across the parking lot from a Burger King, and I stumbled over there one night, midnight, 1 o'clock after a show. I was a little bit inebriated, and okay, I won't lie to you, I was a bit inebriated. But I knew better than to drive, and I got to the Burger King, and the doors were locked, y'all, but that drive-through was open. I was just standing at the speaker. And that woman that lives in that box right there, she said, welcome to Burger King, may I take your order? I was like, yeah, I want a Whopper with cheese, and I want a small fry, and I want a Coke. And she said, are you in a car? I was like, I don't know, can you see me? She wouldn't serve me. Yeah, I had to hitchhike in the drive-thru. Oh, hey, dude. Could you take me to that first window right there? I can help with gas. He wouldn't do it. I had to get a taxi. $56 for a Whopper. Some of you are looking at me like you're waiting on the Indian and the construction worker to come out. I'm not with that group. I'm the guy that holds up the line at airport security. But anyway, nice to meet you. Let me tell you what I did today before I even get started up here. I went to McDonald's up the street, and I went to the drive-thru, and I got like a number 2, and I got up to the window, and this rather large lady leaned out. She goes, $5.85. I was like, at least. Oh, whatever. I always do stuff like that. You see these people that they put their little kids on a leash? I just walk up and pat them on the head. Does he bite? So nice to be here, man. This is my first time to Provo, my first time to drive out here on I-15. I pretty much have 8 lives left at this point. You guys see a Louisiana license plate? Y'all are like, merge. I don't even know what the speed limit is on I-15. I'm doing 80. You people are flying by me. Like I'm sitting still. Your police pulls me. And he's like, you know why I stopped you? I'm like, you couldn't catch anybody else? The police. A lot of comics talk about them. I think they do a fine job. One of my favorite shows is Cops. Comes on Saturday nights on the Fox Network. They were filming it live last week in my hometown. I was watching it, and all of a sudden my front door got kicked in. All I saw was the back of my head on my TV. I know that dude. What are you gonna do when they come for you? I'll run like the wind. Actually, not that I would have to run. Have you all seen some of these cops that are on that show? Okay, look, I'm not saying these boys are out of shape. But if you're on a foot chase and the cameraman passes you, you might want to jump up on a Nordic track. That's all I'm saying. Drop the donut and jog. Roll the donut and chase it. Like I should talk. I checked into the hotel. I checked into my hotel. They're like, we have a gym here. I'm like, okay. I'm intimidated by it. I go to the gym, big guys. And last time I walked into a gym, this guy's 6'4", 260, not an ounce of fat. He's like, can you spot me? I spotted you from the road. My Lord, you're massive. He said, no, can you spot me on the bench? Yo, dog, if you can't lift it. I don't feel the need to work out. I think I'm 57 years old. I'm in pretty good shape, I think. I do 1 sit-up a day. Yeah. In the morning when I get up, that's half. And tonight when I lay down, that's going to be the other half. But it is nice to be here, man. I've never been here. I rode in. My motorcycle's parked right across the street, 2007 FLHR. That's a Road King. It's got the ape hangers on it. I don't have them on there because they're comfortable. I just figure if I get pulled over, I'll already be in position. But you can check it. It's out there, Louisiana license plate. I don't like to fly. Flying scares me. I have a friend that knows I don't like to fly, and he's always tried to convince me with this. He tells me that more people are killed in automobile accidents than there are in plane crashes. Have you ever heard that? Okay, well, that might be true. I ain't never fell 30,000 feet out of my Buick. Which is another thing. When I'm flying, why do they feel the need to tell me how high I am? Well, you ever notice that? We'll be cruising at an altitude of 38,000 feet. Well, I really don't care. As long as we clear the obstacles on the ground, that's all I care about. That's like being on a cruise ship. I don't care how deep the water is as long as we stay on top. They try to appease you with that one on the airplane. They'll tell you, they say, in the event of a water evacuation, your seat cushion will turn into a flotation device. Really? Why doesn't the plane turn into a boat? How about that, huh? My seat's going to float. That's supposed to make me feel better. Yeah. Y'all know what? Dead bodies float. I'll grab me a fat guy and ride him like a wave runner. crazy stuff going on out there with airplanes. I'll tell you why I bring this up. I went to see this movie recently that just came out called Sully, starred Tom Hanks, and it was about that U.S. Airways passenger jet that took off from LaGuardia Airport, and it flew at a flock of birds, and they had to turn around, but they couldn't make it back to LaGuardia, and Sully Sullenberger had to land in the Hudson River. Do y'all remember? It landed into the Hudson River. How many of y'all remember that photo op of the jet floating on top of the river, and all the passengers were standing on the wings waiting to be rescued? Yeah, not one of them was holding a seat cushion. I think I figured it out. That's probably the first thing you soil when you find out you're going down. Right? You're like, I don't believe I'm going to be taking that with me. Well, no, ma'am, it used to be blue. You guys should make the back of the seat the flotation device. I travel all over the country doing this. Like you said, I work on board Carnival and Princess Cruise Lines. I get to go all over the country, all over the world, actually. I was just in the Caribbean. You walk down the beach in the Caribbean, all they want to do is braid your hair. And I'm not going to do that again because it's itching like a son of a gun. I know. I think it's these little beads that they put on here. I leave here, I go home for a couple days, and I go to New York to perform. I like going up north, man, except when I do, people make fun of me because of the way I talk, because of my southern accent. Last time I was in New York, I had a young man wanted to fight me because I talk funny, and he pulled a knife on me, and get this, it was a butter knife. I said, what you gonna do, spread me to death? I'm from Louisiana. I did 19 months in prison. I'll stick it in you. The knife, people. Let me tell you this. I've been in this business almost 30 years. Let me tell you the strangest thing that's ever happened to me in my career. I was doing a show not long ago. Well, I say not long ago, 3 or 4 years ago, little town called Pikeville, Kentucky. I had a gentleman on my front row. He didn't say a word during my show, but he stood up, took off his right shoe and then his sock, and he put his foot up on the stage, and he looked at me. He said, what do you think of that? Right? I looked down. This man has 6 toes. And on my mother's life, I'm not making this up, this man has 6 toes. He said, what do you think of that? I think your mother had a tough time with that story of this little piggy. You've got one that's homeless. I'm pretty sure he's not going to wee nowhere, is he? I broke my middle toe on my right foot about 3 weeks ago. Does anyone here know what a doctor does to fix a broken toe? Now, people say nothing, but they actually do something to fix it. Somebody just said it. They tape it to your next toe. Where were you 3 weeks ago? That cost me $288. No, he did. He taped it to my next toe. I could have done that. I'm from the South. I have a degree in duct tape. Let me tell you something. You laugh. You give me a roll of duct tape, some hay bale and wire, and a beach towel, I'll make you seat covers for your car. He taped it to my next toe. I walked out of there thanking God I didn't break a kneecap. Well, I'll never get to Provo. You know how hard it is to ride a hog side saddle? Provo, Utah, man, my career is on fire. That's a lovely town. I got in town last night. The other comic wanted to go do karaoke. I was like, let me tell you a little something about karaoke. Kind of like your first kiss. A lot of fun while you're doing it, but afterwards you should apologize. So Provo, by way of Florida, I was just in Florida. I was in St. Augustine, Florida, which, by the way, I don't know if you know this or not. St. Augustine, Florida is the oldest city in the United States. You can go there and see all the buildings that they built way back in the 1500s. And then you can go to Tampa and you can actually meet the people that built them. Then you can drive down to Naples and meet their parents. There's a lot of old people in Florida. I was at a Walmart. The greeter said, "Can I get you a basket?" I don't know, can you? Clear. Can I get you a casket? No, it's a super center. You know they sell them. And listen, I'm not talking old like 80 or 90. My mother and father are that age. I'm talking people in their late 100s, early 200s. I mean, they would come to my shows like this and stare at me like the Amish at Best Buy. I've never actually seen dead people sit up. The very first time I was ever down in Florida, I was in Miami. Beautiful city, by the way, Miami, Florida. And I'm playing golf with a friend of mine who grew up in the state of Florida. On the golf course with us, and apparently this is very popular, is an alligator. And I'm freaking out. And my friend, he doesn't even flinch. He just looks at me and goes, "You know, Russ, hey, buddy, hey, bro, hey, man. No, those alligators, they can run 35 miles an hour." Not if he's chasing me, he'll be slipping in some poop. I'll see you at the windmill. I took a taxi today from Provo here down into Salt Lake. I wanted to see y'all's downtown. I took a taxi from Provo to Salt Lake, and man, about halfway through my ride, I looked at my driver. I was like, is there somebody chasing us? He knows how y'all drive here. I was in Memphis, Tennessee recently. I went to Elvis's house, Graceland. They are so proud of Elvis in Memphis, they have a 1-900 The King. I called it, the line was dead. Hey, if they were all funny, I'd be on Fallon. I grew up with Elvis. I'm not making fun of Elvis. I'm 57 years old. But if Elvis is so great, why is he buried in his backyard like a hamster? He was too fat to flush. And he was right there, too, when he passed away. Anybody old enough to remember that? Elvis was sitting on the toilet when he passed away. I think somebody was standing outside the door going, "Hey, Elvis, what'd you do, die in there?" And here, like I'll let y'all off the hook, I was reading your newspaper today. Y'all had a gas station, right? Or a convenience store, something like that got robbed last night. One line of the paragraph in the paper said the suspect fled on foot. The next line said the Provo police broadcast a description of the getaway car. Thank y'all. Rest of y'all take all the time you need. I picture your police going, he's in a pair of late model tennis shoes. Don't make me laugh. That's license plate Romeo Echo Echo Bravo. That's Reebok. He's really moving, Captain. We think he's got him pumped up. Come on, man. He's flat on foot in a getaway car. It was Fred Flintstone. I was in my hotel. I heard yabba dabba doo going down the road. Probably because y'all wouldn't let him merge. I like y'all, I really do, but what does yield mean here? Just go for it in Spanish? Lord have mercy. And you have to read the paper. That's where comedy is. Trust me when I say this next part that I'm about to say, and I do mean this from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate each and every one of you for coming out, supporting live comedy, and giving me the opportunity to work. But pick up your newspaper, watch television, or surf the internet. Comedy's right there. Comedy will write itself. Anybody see this? This was about 8 months ago in USA Today, where that hunter in Wilmington, North Carolina, shot and killed a jogger dead because he thought it was a deer. How many times you been deer hunting? Seen a deer run by with earbuds and some sweatpants. Is that a whitetail? I don't know. It says love pink. I don't make this stuff. 18 months ago, USA Today, a 9-year-old boy, 9 years old, pulled a knife on his mother, told her he was going to cut her throat because she wouldn't take him back to McDonald's because he got the wrong toy with his Happy Meal. Y'all notice that I wait just a couple seconds? Yeah. You know why I do that? Because people laugh at that. People laugh at that. And I've just given you an example what I think is wrong with this world. People are afraid of their kids. People are afraid of their kids. There's people out there right now that in my audience and out there in TV land that are afraid of your kids. And I tell you what, if you're afraid of them, why don't you bring them to my hotel and I'll whip that butt for you, all right? Because I'm going to tell you this right now. I don't know how y'all were raised. I'm not from here. But I'll tell you this. If I was 9, you know what? Let's say I was 29. And pulled a knife on my mother. Not only would I be in my room waiting on my daddy to get home, but I'm pretty sure I've got a knife broke off in some place where I don't want it to be. Because my mama didn't play that. My mother's old school. You young people in here with your little timeout. See, people in here that are my age or older or black people, we didn't have no timeout. What is time out? Gives them more time to think of more stuff to do. That's all time out is. You mess up in my house, my mother would whip you with that wooden spoon, right? And I'm not talking about that little one out of your kitchen drawer. I'm talking about that big one she had hanging up on the wall. She'd grab that spoon, maybe the fork, a yardstick, dish rag, tennis shoe, fly swatter, hairbrush, telephone, extension cord, my older brother, a tire iron. My mother's favorite saying was, "Oh, get up, you're not hurt." I don't even think my mama wanted me. I don't say that mean like. I'm 57. I didn't find out till I was 40 that I was adopted. What's so funny about that? I thought that was pretty cool when she told me. I was like, out of a room full of babies, you picked me? And she's like, no, you were the last one. I'm not adopted. I'm not adopted, but I do think I'm an accident. I'm the baby of my family. I'm the 8th of 8 children. Do you guys remember when you were little, your face would get dirty, your mother would spit on a napkin and wipe your face? Yeah, my mama spit right in my face. All right. That's as gangsta as I get. All right. My boys back home, they're like, who you roll with? I'm like, Walmart, dog. That's my theory about my mother. I'll see if I can prove this to you. I'm originally from Louisiana, and I don't live there anymore. And I was back home about 7 months ago visiting my mother. I found my birth announcement. My birth announcement, my local newspaper in the year 1959 said, born to the Nagel family, boy. He was 7 pounds, 10 ounces, 19 and a half inches long, will trade for bass boat. You know what? Let me tell you how tough my mother is. Young people appreciate this. My mother just turned 91 years old for her birthday. I got her belly button pierced. Whatever. She kept losing her car keys. I I got her one with that retractable cable on it. She goes to the casinos a lot, puts her player's card on. I don't live in Louisiana anymore. I actually live here in Utah. I actually moved here about 10 years ago, and I tell people this is God's country. I will never, ever leave the state of Utah. I live up in Clinton, around the Ogden area. I'm married into a Mormon family. That's a lot of fun at Thanksgiving right there. Because I'm raised Catholic. Do I by chance have any Catholics with me? No, they're probably at a bar somewhere playing bingo. Baptist? Do I have any Baptist people with me? No Baptists? A couple of you? Well, this is a bar. Y'all not supposed to be in here. Had to put their beer down to clap. They don't serve alcohol in here. Hey, do I have any Protestants in with me? Do I have Protestants? Because here's why I asked that. Somebody told me this, that Protestants don't recognize the Pope as the leader of the Christian church, and that Jews don't recognize Jesus as the Messiah, and Baptist people don't recognize each other at the liquor store. I'll tell you what, wherever you find 4 Baptists, you'll find a 5th. Thanks for getting that. When I work Canada, I have to change it to leader. Do I have any Jehovah's Witnesses with me? Any Jehovah's Witnesses? I'm not going to pick on you. There's 5,000 religions out there. I don't know which one is right. Jehovah's Witnesses believe that the good Lord's only going to call home 144,000 people, but I don't know if that's true, but if it is, I wouldn't be going around people's houses and telling them about it. I need to increase my odds as much as possible. This is always a stretch. Do I have any atheists or any agnostic with me? Because you guys are afraid to clap, because I'm going to point the Jehovah's Witnesses and the Mormons towards your house. You guys are so much fun. My agent called me and asked me if I wanted to do this. I said, yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. And he goes, what kind of set do you want to do? They change sets every week. And I said, well, I'm a biker. I'd like a biker set. I guess I can use that if they do a remake of The Wizard of Oz. Ooh, he's the wicked old biker. I am married. I've been married for 15 years. I have 2 stepdaughters, and I don't like that term, stepdaughter. I prefer wedding present. 2 little girls. I love them to death. Their names are Excess and Baggage. Oh, some of y'all just mad because you didn't think of it. I make jokes about them. I love them to death. Excess is 13, and Baggage is 17, and she's unmarried, and she just had a little baby, so now I have excess baggage in a carry-on. Because guess who they're living with? I do have a brand new baby granddaughter. Her name is Unique. That's her name. It's Unique. I'll have her with me at the grocery store, the mall. People go, oh, she's beautiful. What's her name? I go, it's Unique. They go, really? What is it? I go, it's Unique. Really? What is it? It's Unique. That's her brother for real. My daughter gets mad at me because I call her Uniqua. I have 6 kids. I know that probably scares y'all, knowing that I'm reproducing. I do have 6 children. I have 9 grandchildren, 2 of which my wife and I are raising because somebody else isn't. My wife and I are raising 2 of my grandchildren, Ethan and Marie. Ethan is 6, and Marie is 4. She'll be 5 next month. And Ethan, I love him to death. He's at the stupid question age. He'll just ask you the dumbest stuff in the world. I had him out fishing not long ago, and he calls me Popo, and he said to me, Popo, why don't the fish down there in that water, why don't those fish rust? Oh, get up, you're not hurt. That's not salt water. We're coming home on the highway. We have the windows down. You know when a car flies by you on a 2-lane highway, it goes. Ethan said to me, he said, Popo, does our car make that same noise like that when it goes by their car? I had no idea. So I get home, right, and I tell my wife, I said, look, you get in my car. Try not to get ahead of me. I said, Ethan and I are going to get in your car. We're just going to listen for what we hear when we pass you. And all I heard when she went by was, you're an idiot. I guess not. And Marie, oh my Lord, she's going to turn out to be a fine young lady. They said she'll be 5 next month. I know this just for the simple fact she's already asking me for designer clothes. She's 5 years old. I'll be 5 years old. I said, what do you want for your birthday, baby girl? She said, I want some Oshkosh B'gosh. I said, okay, do they sell that at KK Kmart? Because we'll be sure and get you some shoes over there at Pay Palace. Which is where I buy their shoes, because I learned this. My wife and I have a 13-year-old son together. His name is Taryn, Taryn with a T, T-E-R-R-A-N. He's named after 2 of my brothers, Terry and Darren. My wife let me pick that name out, and we're still fighting about it. Because it's not a common name for a little boy, and we can't find a license plate for his bicycle. I said, if he takes after my brothers, he'll be making his own license plate. That's a whole nother show right there. Terrence's 13 years old. I came in off the road. He said he wanted some Air Jordan. I didn't even know what this was at the time. Turns out it's a tennis shoe. Have you heard of this? It's an Air Jordan. I said, okay, that's fine. Why do you want that? He said, because they make you jump higher. I took him to the mall, $180. I jumped that high right there. That little boy got everything in the world. Nintendo, PlayStation 4, Xbox Connect. He got everything, man. And that's what kids today have. I just got him his first smartphone. He's 13. We didn't think he really needed a smartphone, but my wife and I figured if we got him one, he could teach me and my wife how to use ours. And he got it taken away the first day back at school because he got caught texting his girlfriends. I had to go to the school to pick up his phone, and we're driving back home, and he looked at me. He said, didn't you ever get your phone taken away while you were in school? Because anybody in here that's my age or older, if you would have wanted to take my phone, you would have had to come to my house, come in my kitchen, and rip it off the wall. And my son goes, well, what did you do for cell service? We had that long cord that would reach into every room of the house. That was it. Well, how did you text your girlfriends? We wrote them out on a piece of paper, and then we folded them up and we handed it to them, hoping we wouldn't get caught. Then we spent 10 minutes watching them trying to open it. He's something else, man. I won't play video games with him. I'm horrible at him. He got this John Madden football game, beat me 97-0. 97-0. He gets mad. He even let me pick my own team. I follow the NFL. I picked a great team. I had Tom Brady as my quarterback, Drew Brees. I had Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers. I tried to pick him the worst team. He let me pick his team. So quarterback, I had Tony Romo, and and I had Colin Kaepernick because I knew he'd never get off his knee. And 97-0. I had a great team, and then I made him come into the kitchen and play football the way I played football growing up. 27-24. Anyway, you guys are fun. I'm gonna get a little drink here. It gets a little warm up here. The heat escapes through your head, so it's always good when you're under hot lights like a French fry. You should wear a leather hat. Oh, that's cute. They put a little straw in my drink. It's kind of hard to be tough with that right there, isn't it? You know, they call these a straw or a stir. Maybe here in Utah they call them swizzle sticks. I don't drink anymore. I don't drink. I've been sober for 15 years, and it's been the worst 15 years of my life, to be honest. Let me tell you, I wasn't good at drinking. I'm not, and I don't advocate it. I love working this club. I know it's non-alcoholic. I think it's fantastic. I was not good at drinking. I got drunk one time years ago. I'm talking years ago. I got so drunk, I came in, I fell asleep with my TV on, and apparently it was on mute. I wake up the next morning and thought I drank myself deaf. I'm just not good at it, man. I wasn't good at it. But this right here, see, here's what happened when you go to a bar. I don't know if any of you guys drink. Like I said, I don't advocate it. But they put these in your drink, and they call them straws, stirs, or swizzles. You know what this is? This is a DUI waiting to happen. That's all it is, right? Because you're at a bar, it's in your drink, you're driving home, and you're chewing on them, right? Now, this is a true story, and I'm going back 17 years. True story, Little Rock, Arkansas. I'm headed back to my hotel one night, and I had one of these. I'm in my car. I'm tooling home, right? And I'm having a good time. You have no idea how true this story is. And again, I'm not advocating drinking and driving. I think it's the third worst thing in the world behind rape and murder. But I'll tell you what, I do love Southern policemen. That man did not ask me for my driver's license. He came storming out to my car. He came storming out to my car. He goes, "Have you been drinking?" If you make me laugh, it hurts. Wow, that was a good one right there. My friends back home, because I travel all over the country doing this, and I hope I do get to see you maybe on a Carnival Cruise Lines or Princess Cruise Lines, the ones that I work. You can friend me on Facebook, facebook.com/America's Funniest Biker. The easiest way to find me is americasfunniestbiker.com. All my links are there, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I don't know why I'm on Twitter. I've got like 6 followers, which is, I think it's much easier for me just to call them. I'm going to be in Provo. I'm going to be in Provo. I'm going to be in Provo. I'm on there, but I work the road a lot, and people find that I don't live in Louisiana anymore, and I live here in Utah. Oh, did you lose your house in that hurricane? No. Actually, I lost my house in a divorce because I was married to a Katrina, and the wife I have now, I love to death. I do that. I say that a million times during my shows. You can see right there, I wear a ring finger, a gold band on my ring finger. I don't mess around on my wife. But I did learn my lesson in my first marriage. I don't make a whole lot doing what I do up here, but I make enough that my wife and I signed a prenup. She's not getting my computer. Like I said, I'm on Facebook. My friends go, oh, you live in Utah. Did you marry, do you have multiple wives? I don't know why that's still a myth there in Utah. You have multiple wives? No. I married a girl with multiple personalities. Much cheaper. The only problem with that is when we're out to dinner, I don't know who I'm having dinner with. Because we got in an argument not long ago. We're at the Cheesecake Factory. We got in an argument. I said, let me be frank. And my wife goes, no, let me be frank. I'll see you guys again. I'm Russ Nagel. I did enjoy it. That's for you, Jeremy. Thank you so much, Provo, Utah. We'll see you again. Good night.